The monster's still sitting here. I haven't even bothered looking at it yet. I'm pretty sure it's the brake that's gone in it. But for the ES950, the cord that goes from the charger to the scooter was the insulation itself was broken. There's no stress reliever on it at all, so all the force was right on where the wire comes out. And insulation broke, so we had two bare wires. And the last time I used it, I got sparks, so I got it taken apart right now. So I'm using the Monster's charger for the ES950. Did I go anywhere? Yes, I don't think I went anywhere yesterday. So the day before that will be the last time I used this scooter. So I had this plugged in. I come out today and the light was red, which means there's some kind of an error. Green, orange, green, and orange, green. There's nothing on here for red to tell you what's wrong, but there's an error anyways. The only time I've had that before was in the winter time when it was really super cold, so I figured this didn't want to work in the cold. But there's no reason why it shouldn't have worked yesterday or the day before. So I unplugged it, waited for it to reset, and then plugged it back in, and so far we're good to go. Yes, the problem with this scooter is there's no indication of when it's finished charging. So there's that. Hold on. So last time I called the shop, I was inquiring about the speedometer cable. And you remember the Monster speedometer cable quit on me the night of the fireworks. Or speedometer quit, I should say. But I've since discovered that the cable, the core itself on the inside that spins, it was broken. And this is the tip. This goes into the front wheel. And the tiny little spring core in there is broken off. So I inquired about that, and to get a replacement speedometer cable from Heartway specifically for the Monster is $96, and it is what, four maybe 5 feet long. So I got looking on Amazon, and you can get complete cables and that of different lengths, but I found this ATP Automotive, and what it is it is speedometer core only, and this is what's broken, so this is all I really need anyways. So the biggest issue I had was trying to find the right size, because I had to make sure the tips are the right size. So there's 3.3 millimeters, I think they are. So I got it today, and I'm comparing the two, and they are exactly the same thickness. So what you do is you put the one through the cable, or through the sheath, the casing, outer casing, whatever you want to call it, and the other end you cut to length. So it doesn't matter what length you've got. And this I think is 120 inches, which would be what, 10 feet? So there's plenty there. It's like twice as much as I'm going to need, but that's pretty cool. So I got that, and what you do is you put it through, you cut the excess off, and then this is the other square tip. The end of the cable goes inside it, and it's got the little crimping tool that you put on and smack it with a hammer, and it's good to go. So that's a future project. I'm not bothering with the Monster right now. I got too much other stuff to do rather than worry about that piece of crap. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. Where did I see that? Somewhere on here. Oh yeah, on the end of the box. Made in Taiwan. Now, so is the Monster, so it ought to be about the same quality, right? So, anyways, I'm not gonna get angry by talking about the monsters, so I'm going to move on to the project I have in store for today. Whoa, and that is permanently attaching a USB cable to my SJCAM. Now, I took this apart in my bedroom the other night, a couple nights ago actually, and I was actually surprised that that's all this is. It's one little circuit board with a lens attached to it. And this here is for the button on the front. Got a little speaker on the side. This is for the button on the top. This is the battery compartment. Now, what happened was a little miniature micro USB port. The little socket on here, there's a little tiny little circuit board in the middle of it, and that broke off. So there's nothing to make contact there. You can still plug it in, but there's nothing to make contact with the terminals. So I took this apart last night, or a couple nights ago, and I pried that thing off to see if I could just solder wires directly on it, but it is so freaking tiny. And I've got my magnifying glass, and there's five little terminals there, and they're so close together. There's no way I could solder onto that without, you know, connecting any together. I don't know if you can see anything in there or not, but it's just way too small. I look at the back of it, and yeah, the card reader's right behind it, so I can't even get to that. So I have a plan for what I've done. Is the cord that I used to use out here for this camera when I'm doing my projects, and I also use it for the weather cam. So I'm constantly, you know, moving it back and forth and back and forth. So I bought these new ones, which is the one I'm using today. These are 10-foot cords as well. And I bought 3 of them. That way I can leave one out here. And this is the old 10-footer that I had for the weather cam. So this is the one I'm going to take apart. And I separated it. The 2 outside wires are the power wires. The 2 inside ones are the data wires. So I cut the one off, and this one I left a little longer, so I know which of these wires is positive. The one with the little extra insulation on the one beside it is the positive, and this is the negative. But before I finish that, I'll check to make sure. So so you stay out of the way, Dexter. So I got all of these parts, bits and pieces. There's the front face, battery cover. And I can't turn this too much. That's the LCD screen. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't turn this because I got all my microscopic screws in here, and they're very, very tiny. So in doing this project, the biggest issue that I had was right here. This is a Genuine SJCAM battery. The problem I have here is it's got 3 terminals. I've seen this before. I have no idea why it's got 3. So I tested these, and it says positive on this side and negative on that side. So this is definitely negative, and both of these read 4 point something volt. It's a 3.7 volt battery, but obviously it's fully charged because it's 4.2 or something like that. So I don't understand why there's 2. So I decided to Google it last night, and if you don't know what it is, I am about to tell you. It depends on the battery. Some batteries actually have 4, but on these batteries, the purpose of this one in the middle is it's attached to a thermistor, and a thermistor is a resistor that changes resistance depending on temperature. So when you're charging the battery or when you're using the battery, it monitors the temperature inside here, and it prevents battery damage. If it overheats, it shuts down. So that's kind of cool. So I'm not going to need the middle, just those 2. So because I can't solder onto the board here, I'm going to try soldering directly to the battery terminals. And I know from this one here, I know which one's positive and which one's negative. So positive one's closest to the wall and the negative is the outside one. So I'm going to try it. It's kind of a tight squeeze in there. My eyesight's not all that great. And I don't know, my soldering iron tip isn't really the smallest. It's probably not the most ideal for this kind of situation. But, yeah, Dexter, no, come on. Look out. I got a hot soldering iron here. Go, go, go. Go, go. I want you to get burnt. So, that's what my project is for today. Okay, we got here. I forgot I had this sitting here. I have to double check everything before I make it permanent. Okay, I'm gonna move this before I end up burning myself or melting something. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can read that display. So negative is this one over here. Positive is one on the outside. And 3.71. Okay, well it's down to 3.7 now. And one in the middle. I'm not getting anything from. Why? Okay, this worked perfectly last night. Why is it not working now? Alright, get in the hole. I'm not sure if I can get in there, or maybe it's because even my probe tips are pretty big. Okay, well now I'm confused. Okay. Apparently I was wrong. They're not both both positive, they're both negatives. Because if I put the probes on the negative in the middle, I get no reading at all. Negative on the outside is 3.7. So if I put my negative probe in the middle and with the positive, I get the 3.7. And go down to the negative, and there's nothing. So, okay, the two middle ones are negative. How did I get that wrong? I don't know. But anyways, as long as I get the polarity right. I know where I got the 4 point something volts from. That was from the charger. Because I wanted to see what the output was, to see whether I could connect this directly to the camera without melting or burning anything. Because I'm not sure the exact output voltage of the USB supply, but I know it's about, it's called 5 volts, but whether it's an exact 5 volts, I don't know. So we will have to see. Okay, so the only thing I really need to know is one terminals, the two outside terminals are negative and positive. So just to be sure here, make sure nothing's touching. Plug in my USB here. Zap. Okay, I need to put this away and I shouldn't have. Turn this back on. Down to 20 volts. So the one without the extra wire insulation, whatever, it will be negative, and the other one should be positive, and we are getting 5.19 volts. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a little bit closer for you. Hopefully you're not getting the light reflecting off it. 5.19 volts. So that's the output of the USB power supply that I'm using here for the camera. You gotta be careful, my soldering iron's down there. I don't want it melting through any of my wires. Okay, so this is definitely, oh, I unplugged these. Whoops. Okay, so there's no longer power in them. So this one's definitely negative, and this one's definitely positive. So my next question is, how do I manage to solder those in there? Okay, positive is on this end. So somehow I have to hold that in, and at the same time get the soldering iron and the solder in there at the same time. This could be interesting. This could be very interesting. Okay, so this, on the other hand, this does look possible. It looks possible. So I need something to hold that without damaging the board. I believe that'll work. I just gotta move it over just a bit. There. Yeah, okay, I need my extra eyes here. It's hard to see in 3 dimensions when you're using a magnifying glass. I'm pretty sure that's going to fit on there nicely. Okay, now let's see what we got. I'm just going to really quickly put the cap on here, just so I don't drip any solder on the lens. This is my, well, this is my second oldest SJCAM. I have my 720p one. That's the first one of these sports cams that I actually bought. Yeah, it was like, I think I paid 40 bucks for it or something. Yeah, it works, but it's just, the quality's just not there in the video. Whoa! Like I said, it's only 720p. But it's good for a backup. And other than that, this is the Genuine SJCAM. And this one was my first really good camera. And I kind of hate to waste it, so... because it still works. It doesn't work on the battery anymore. It has to be plugged into a power supply. Are you even ready? I know you were warming up. What the heck? Alright, don't tell me I'm having problems with this now. It was heating up. I felt the heat. I had this all ready to go. Well, I am totally baffled now, because I know that when I plugged it in, I grabbed a hold of it and it was warm. Now, why that is, I don't know, because the other end of the extension cord is not plugged in. So that would be a don't. Okay, that's hot, so it's definitely warming up now. so while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna take a break. I know it's hot now, I can smell it. Alright. So, let's try this again. It's definitely hot now. I can smell it. So I know it's good and hot. Back there. Yep. Okay. Now, how well can I do this without a magnifying glass, without melting everything? Hopefully I didn't just melt through the circuit board. Okay, looks like there's some kind of protection behind it anyways. All I need is to put positive voltage into the circuit where it's not supposed to be. Okay, it feels like it's there. There's the positive. Now the negative. Negative. Come on. Behave. Hey. Crying out loud. That thing's... Yeah, it's one of those days where nothing's going right. Stop. Can't see anything. My eyes are so blurry. Even with my glasses on, I still can't see anything. It's very depressing. I'm not losing my sight, I just can't focus. Okay, well that feels solid. Before I do anything else, I'm going to clip those off. Don't you dare. Unplug that so it'll start cooling down. Okay, well, so do this. Cut down there if I can. Don't know where it went, but at least it cut. There's one here. As long as you didn't go in my copy. Okay. I should stick some hot glue on there, just as stress relief. I'll just do that later. Okay. Well, at least the solder didn't stick to the lens. Next. I don't even know if I can test it before I put it together. Because the LCD screen is attached to the back of the camera. Okay, I'm going to put all my tiny screws on here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's all there were, just 8 screws. Okay, so this could be interesting. I'm not sure how the LCD is in there. Looks like it's just snapped into place, so I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get this. I don't know how am I gonna do that. It just looks like it's snapped into place, but I don't want to pull on that. There's just no room to do anything here. Unforeseen circumstances, for sure. That's the back. It goes on like that. But somehow I have to get... That's actually a plug. There's this plastic with circuits in it. That has to slip into here. And I'm gonna guess that in the factory, that goes in first. And then they snap in the LCD into the case. Of course, that's just my assumption. How they actually do it, I don't know. There's so little room to work here. Unless... no, because it goes in from the back. There's clips there. So I was thinking it's possible that this cover may be put on after. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because there's so little room to put... I don't get how they do that. Okay, this is an unforeseen challenge. I have no idea how they got that on there. And this is why, and that's recessed too, so I can't even like get anything under it to pry it out. And this is why I generally buy new stuff instead of trying to fix the old stuff. Everything is so tiny now. Ow, I can't work with it. Cannot work with it. Okay, so did I sacrifice this cable for nothing? Or can I actually get that in there? Wow, there is so little. How do they do that? How do they actually get that in there to put this thing together? I don't understand. It's just nuts. That is nuts. It's impossible. Wow. How do they do that? But there are screws on here, on the bottom of the board, to take the battery cover off. That would allow me to bring the circuit board in a little better. But it's not going to make a difference. No wonder. Because it's right at the opening here. It's kind of guided. Oh, I wish I brought my mini screwdrivers out with me. Nope, too far. Okay, push you down a little bit. Yikes. Go away. It's there. I guess I can't tell if it's in or not. Well, I'm just gonna have to hope it is. I guess. If not, then I'm going to have to do this a different way. Why is this oh, for crying out loud. It's stuck on the buttons. Ow. That's where that clipping went to. Okay, I made my decision. I cannot put this together the way it is. Therefore, yeah, just pushing on the buttons. Therefore, I want to keep this cover though. How am I going to get the LCD out of there without breaking it? That's the next question. If I put too much force on it, it's going to go bye-bye. I have a feeling this outer case here, or outer cover here, is glued in. I don't know how I'm going to get at it. Projects are never easy, never simple. Something even that's just totally basic, it always gives me problems. Yeah, man. It doesn't really matter at this point whether I break it or not. I just don't want to wreck the LCD screen. That's my only concern at this very moment. Losing my voice here. I don't even think I have any miniature screwdrivers out here. I don't want to stab myself. This screwdriver here is about as many as I've got out here. Straight from the side here so I don't damage anything. Just don't want to wreck that LCD screen. Yeah, this just looks like a plastic cover on the back. It's probably glued into place. No, I was right. Okay. exactly. It's not even glue, it's two-sided tape. Wow. Okay. Very sticky two-sided tape. Okay, that's not even important. What's important now is... yeah, that's what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. It's pushed in from this side. Alright, so I might be able to do this yet. So we'll put this in first. Put the buttons back in. Come on. Okay. This side might have to go in first. Try not to damage the lens there, but I can't even put anything on it right now. Stupid buttons. They have a cap for it, but the cap obviously goes around the outside part, not the lens itself. It's way too big to stay on there. Yeah, it seems to me I had problems taking this out too. Ah, there we go. Trying to figure out how everything comes apart without breaking anything. Okay, so that's that part. That's the front button. So, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I can barely see what I'm doing. But one way or another, this has to slip inside there. I just can't get a grip on it to push it and get it in. At least I had it in. Now it's in, but the thing is, I don't know how far in it's supposed to go. Is it just enough to make contact? Is it friction held? That sure looks like that's going to work. That might just work. Okay, I think I'm ready for a test. Ugh. Hold your breath. Let's see what we come up with. Are you still hot? Okay, you're good now. No fear of melting. Okay. Plug it in, see what happens. Ah. Get the wire entangled. Okay. Come on. No sparks. Uh-oh. The SJCAM has car mode, and what that is when you plug it in, it gets power from the car. So basically when you start your car up, the camera automatically turns on and starts recording. This didn't turn on. Oh, it came on manually. Wow, look at that. Oh look, and the battery's full. Excellent. Well, I know it works. Please insert card. Sweet. I have to update all my settings, but it's working. Okay, please insert card. Well, let's insert card. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. I'm getting a blank screen here. Okay. The display is all messed up. Why? Okay, that bothers me. Is that this cable thingy here? I can't really tell. It worked fine till I put the card in. Take the card back out. Yeah, of course. Now it doesn't want to work. Why was it working and now it's not? I wonder if that's just not in all the way. Yeah, man. Dang. Okay, I'm gonna unplug this for a moment. I want to take the circuit board off, or take the camera apart again just to get down to that. But the only place in there I can get a grip is between the LCD and the frame that the LCD is in, and I can't pry on the LCD itself. Dang. Okay, up to this point, everything has worked. Come on. Just don't shatter. Yeah, 'cause it's kind of out a little bit. I'm just wondering if that's coming out and that's what's causing the problem. But like I say, I don't know how far in that's supposed to be. I just don't want to break the little wire traces inside the plastic. Ah, there we go. It goes all the way in apparently. It just suddenly moved. Okay. So let's try that. I'm not going to put it all completely together this time. But no spark, no fire. I know why it's not coming on automatically. Because this is just like putting a battery in. Because normally I'd plug it in to the port on the side here, which is no longer there. That's probably where the sensor is for the car mode. Now the display looks better. Okay, so it is January 1st, 2013, 17 seconds after midnight. Apparently. Okay, so let's put a card in again. One more time. Turn it on. Oh, that looks better. Okay. One of the problems I was having before, picture mode, view mode, menu, and back to video. Okay, let's see if the record button, or start button, shutter button, that's what I'm looking for. And it's not lined up properly. There we go. And it is now recording. Stop it. Again, it's not lined up. There. Done. And turn it off. Okay, I consider this now a success. I am happy. So unplug it. Now, like I was going to say, one of the problems I had was I plugged this into, like, the camera that I'm recording this with right now is plugged into a wall charger. It just converts the 120 volt or 110, however you want to look at it, line voltage from the house. It converts it to 5 volt DC to output this. So when these are plugged into it, only the positive and a negative are used, so the camera knows it's being charged. But if I plug this into my laptop, then automatically the two middle ones, or the two data lines, they're also connected, and the camera knows it's connected to a computer, so it goes into like PC camera mode or something. But the problem I'm having, or the problem I foresee, I should say, is when I'm using this as a weather cam, yeah, we get a bad storm and the power goes out, this camera's going to shut off. So I got the idea of using my laptop, and then once the power goes out, then it'll be running off the laptop's battery. It doesn't matter whether we got, you know, power in the house or not, so it'll continue to record for a while. But I couldn't do that because I can't record with the camera when this is plugged into a computer, because it knows it's plugged into a computer and it thinks it's supposed to be an addition to it. It's not using it for charge, even though it charges anyways. It's not being used for that. So this will actually prevent that from happening. So I will be able to use this with my laptop, and I'll have a backup battery supply. So that's awesome. So now, everything lined up here. Yikes! I didn't mean to do that. Just push the LCD back in. That's okay, I guess. So, if I can do this without dropping any of these microscopic screws. They are so tiny. I just gotta figure out where they all are. I'm almost thinking that should have gone in before I even put the circuit board in. It was kind of backwards to how it was. Okay, so this goes in here, that goes on there. One way or another. That'll be the front button. Okay, microscopic screw. Trying my hardest not to drop any of these, I can barely see them. I really don't want to be dropping them because I'll never find them. Okay, you're in. Not out here anyways. Go away, bug. So now I understand why there are 2 screws in each corner. Because 4 screws, 2 in this corner and the 2 ones here, are attaching the front piece to the battery compartment. And then the other 4 in the corners actually hold this plate down altogether, the whole thing. There. And you're tight. And you're tight. And you're good. You stay right there. It almost feels like it's upside down. I don't know why. Looks right. It's so dirty. It's almost like a rubbery cover. Very soft. Plastic on the inside, but it feels rubbery. I like this camera. I've always liked this camera. Okay. So now I put the other 4 screws in. Yikes. Actually, I think this was my 3rd camera, now that I'm thinking about it. I think my fake SJCAM was my 2nd. I paid $70, 80 bucks for it. And this one I paid $90 for. A Genuine SJCAM. If I remember correctly. 70, yeah, 70 and 90. My H9 was 80. Okay. So this was the $90 camera. And I'll tell you, I like this so much better than the GoPro. I would never spend the money they want. I found mine, thankfully, because I do not like it. Several reasons. One, because it's so much post-processing that has to be done to get a good image from it. You can't get a good image straight from the camera. It's very, very low contrast. It's just a bland picture. There's no color saturation. It's just horrible. You got to do so much image processing to get a good picture. Whereas these cameras, you get a good picture right straight out of the camera, directly off the card. And it's so much easier to work with. So that's one of the problems I had. Another problem is, give me a second here. I took a bit of a break. I was kind of hoping my glue gun was out here. I was going to plug it in while I'm talking, but nope, it's not out here. It's got to be in the house. So anyways, another thing I didn't like about the GoPro is the battery. All I had, when I found it, all I had was the camera. So I had to plug it in to charge the battery, and it took hours and hours and hours. These cameras, they're like two hours maybe to get a full charge. I have an actual GoPro charger now with 2 extra batteries, and it's no different. They take all night to charge. I don't understand why, but you know, that's what they do. So I don't like that. And a lot of times the batteries don't even keep a charge once they're charged. Stick it in the camera, I go out somewhere, and the battery's dead. I don't get it. So that's another thing that I don't like about them. The third thing I don't like is, even though according to their manual, the one that I found online, it says that you can use the camera while it's charging, plugged in and charging. I'm thinking the reason that it takes so long to charge the batteries is because there's very, very little current going through it. And the reason I say that is because these cameras, when I use them on the scooter, they're plugged in. They're always charged. They've always got power going to them. And basically, they're running off the scooter's power. And they're fine. They'll go until the card's full. 32 gigabyte card will get 3 hours to 5 hours recording time. The 64 megabyte or gigabyte cards, I get 7 to 9 hours, depending on, you know, how much motion's in the picture. But they last a long time, and they'll go until the card's full, and you know, the camera will stop recording, but it's still charging. It's still plugged in, so they're always ready to go. With the GoPro, even with it plugged in, it's the battery still dies, and just as quick as it would as if it's not plugged in. So I don't know how people get these long time lapse. Maybe the picture every few seconds takes a lot less energy than, or a lot less drain on the battery than the video does. I'm not sure, but I can't depend on them to last for a long time, because they don't seem to work while they're plugged in. They die. The batteries die in them just as quick as when it's plugged in, as it does when it's just the battery itself and not plugged in. So that's I can't depend on it. That's one of the main things I don't like about the GoPro. And these things here, like $100, will get you a pretty decent one of these. You know, they are cheaper cameras, so obviously they're going to be cheaper quality, but they're more dependable. This one here I've had for a couple years now, and it got to the point where it didn't like running on the battery anymore. I would get, okay, when you start recording, see how that light flashes there. You get that one, and the charge light on the back here is also flashing. Every time that flashes, you can actually hear that in the video. The static. It makes all kinds of weird electrical noise that gets recorded with the video, and that only happens when I got it on battery. If I'm running it, recording with it plugged in with the power cord, I don't get that. So definitely a problem. Okay, that's where it goes. I may or may not glue that back on later. Oops, pushed the power button by mistake. Okay, I may stick that back on, I may not. I don't think I really need to, but I might. Okay. So, I would call that a success. Spare parts. I can use this battery in my other cameras if I need to take extras with me. So I guess all I got left to do now just start cleaning up. Yeah, we're all done.